Hello. Welcome to the Music Fanatic Reviews and News. I'm John, the Music Fanatic. You know, it's just a nice day out. A good day. We're sitting out on the deck and doing a video. As Fred Rogers would say, it's a beautiful day in this neighborhood. And I'm here to review an album that came out this year. I'm going to review some old stuff, but this is a brand new release. I mean, it came out in April, so it's not brand new, but it's new. It's August Burns Red's new album, Guardians. If you're like me, a lot of you probably found yourself, and some places I realize are still highly locked down. Things are better here, but not as good as normal, but at this point. But during the worst time of the lockdown time of our country over the coronavirus, a lot of you are like me. You probably found yourself, unless you're just not a very social person. I'm kind of somewhere in the middle. I'm not the most social person, but if I don't get to socialize with anybody, it gets to me. Find yourself kind of depressed and needing something to do and kill some time, so I took to listening to music on YouTube. Well, during that, August Burns Red released the album Guardians. Quick background, I've known about August Burns Red for a while. Discovered their album Thrill Seeker, their first album, and then later went on to Constellations. Both very good records. Haven't been like their most avid fan that follows everything yet, although I will probably get more into their music now as I've continued to hear more. Anyway, I decided to give Guardians a listen, and I'm going to tell you a true story. I listened to the first two songs off of Guardians. Then I went on Bandcamp, and I bought the download of the album. And I want to say, Bandcamp is an independent music platform, so there's a lot of stuff they don't have. But if you can find an album on Bandcamp, I recommend buying it there because they have all kinds of file formats, and you can get the FLAC file. And to all you audiophile people out there, I promise you, it's worth having the FLAC files, because that album has absolutely excellent sound quality on FLAC. And I listened to it on FLAC files for a long time, and it was spectacular. I will say this album is great from start to finish. I am not even normally a big metalcore guy. I like some heavy stuff, but like metalcore, which usually has very little melody, is pretty much just screaming, usually is not my thing. But August Burns Red has a way of making that work for me like no other band ever has. August Burns Red started out as a Christian metalcore band. Their first album, Thrill Seeker, has very highly spiritual lyrics. Now they've moved in a more mainstream direction, though the lead singer is still very much a Christian and has not shied away from admitting to that. But this album really doesn't have much to do with spiritual themes, except for the theme of loving and reaching out and helping others, which is a prominent theme on this album, which is great. Well, I listened to that album for a while, and then I found out about something, and since I'm a vinyl fanatic, I bought this bad boy here. The album on vinyl. And it's a beautiful release. Look at the artwork and everything. It's cool. And it's on two vinyls, which is kind of funny to me. And it's colored like this. And the reason I say it's kind of funny to me that it's on two vinyls I realize that can actually make the sound quality better because it's less on one record. But I have Masters of Puppets by Metallica on vinyl. Or Master of Puppets, sorry, my misspeaking. And it's on one record, and it's a longer album than this one. And I just found some humor in, takes 2 records for August Burns Red, only 1 for Metallica, which, different record labels, all that, I get that. Different way of thinking, so I'm not really confused by it or anything, it's just kind of funny. But anyway, all 11 tracks on this are great. The narrative starts the album off to an absolutely excellent song, musically and lyrically. Bones is one of my favorite songs on the album because it's just got a really awesome, heavy feel to it, and the vocals are just out of this world crazy, the way he screams. Which, if you're anyone familiar with August Burns Red, his vocals have gotten much more brutal here lately, like on this album, than they were even like on Constellations. Thrill Seeker was a different guy, but this is the same guy on Constellations, and that's a great album. I wrote it down, but you can't hardly tell that's even him. It's so much more brutal. Paramount's a good one. It's not my most favoriteest one on there, but it's good. Defender is absolutely excellent. That song just keeps building up. It almost builds up like a classical piece, only it's metal. It just keeps getting better and better as it goes. It's just really cool. Lighthouse is kind of a controversial track to some people because it has clean vocals. Some people think it's like the worst song they ever recorded because August Burns Red barely ever uses clean vocals, but I think it's great. It's one of my favorite standout tracks on the album because we have within one song clean vocals, brutal screaming vocals, and a spoken part all flow together perfectly into one song with an absolutely excellent message about helping others. It's actually one of my favorite songs on the album. Dismembered Memories is great. Ties That Bind, Bloodletter, Extinct by Instinct. It kind of just keeps flowing. The album just keeps on going. It's great. Empty Heaven, just wow. Now that's a song that just has a absolutely super quality to it. And it's so different from the rest of the album in the way that it works. It's still very heavy and brutal, but in an entirely different way. And 3 Fountains, which runs at 6 minutes and 21 seconds, the longest song on the album and the last one, that thing is a perfect conclusion, and it just keeps building on itself until it flows to an almost like a crescendo ending. It's just excellent. So I can't recommend this album enough. Now I do want to say, you can still get this album on the internet. You can order it on vinyl. And to me, I'm not running it down. I like it. And having this in my collection, it's worth having the record. Because I love vinyl. But I was slightly disappointed in this vinyl. Because to me, the record's sound quality is not up high as some records that I have got in the past. It sounds good. But to me, there's something a little bit missing about it. It's not a big issue. It's still worth having to hear this awesome album on your turntable. But it just feels to me, despite making a big deal about the half-speed mastering and supposed to be such high-quality vinyl, that it could have sounded just a little bit better. And I'm going to play just a little bit of it on my turntable in a minute for you, let you hear how it sounds, and let you be the judge. I realize it won't sound as good as listening to the record, because once you put it online in digital format, it's not going to sound as good as a vinyl. And I also realize that I'm going to be recording on the phone, so, you know, it won't sound as good as having it hooked direct in either, but it'll kind of give you a little bit of an idea of what this record sounds like. Alright, here's my turntable. I've got it hooked into my stereo here to make a higher sound quality. I think I'm going to play a little bit of, even though it's not the first song, I'm going to put on side 2. Play a little bit of the song Defender, it's one of my favorites on the album, and let you hear a little bit of that. Anyway, there's a little sample. Not going to play too much for you because I know there's YouTube copyright and everything else. But there's a little sample. See, it don't sound bad. To me, it doesn't quite have the fullness some records have. Maybe it's just me, I don't know. But it's still awesome. I can't recommend this album enough. And I definitely think you should get the FLAC file version on Bandcamp, because I think that sounds even better than the record. But if you're like me and you love vinyl, then, you know, you gotta have that too. So, just a good album. If you've listened to it, you like it, or don't like it, or whatever, feel free to talk in the comments. I just ask you keep comments respectful. You don't mistreat people who have a different opinion on the album than you. And if you have any cool music to recommend, ask me if I want to do a review on. I ain't going to promise every suggestion I get I'm going to do, but you know, you never know. So, hey, if you enjoyed this video, please like. If you got comments, comment. Share this video. And if you really enjoy this content, hit that subscribe button down there and hit that notification bell so you'll be sure to know every time I upload a new video. Thank you very much for watching. Have a blessed day.